For our adolescent novice, Nicholas and I have decided to use a bottom-up approach to teach the learner how to pass a soccer ball efficiently. This is a hands-off, facilitator-guide approach to manipulate the task and environmental constraints. It uses a command center in the central nervous system to make all the decisions regarding movement. When learning a new skill, it's essential for a learner to have a goal and a training program to focus on the best possible way to enhance the skill. In this 4-week soccer program, there is a progression each week for passing the soccer ball. In week 1, the adolescent novice learns to pass the ball with both feet along a straight line, from a short distance away. This also involves stopping the ball when receiving the pass for more control before passing. In week 2, the learner is passing the ball along a straight line from a further distance and also learns to pass the ball without stopping it. This makes the task more difficult and advances his passing skills. In week 3, the learner is practicing passing to different angles, and by week 4, the learner begins passing to a moving partner. From this 4-week program, our client improved his pass and soccer skills, including his confidence and game readiness. The client can move forward after this program by learning new skills such as shooting for goal and constantly practicing his passing skills to reach an autonomous stage. Physical guidance is being led passively through a movement. It's not ideal and should be used sparingly. In the video, we have an instructor coaching an adolescent novice learning the new skill, being guided physically through a simple pass on the left and right foot, stopping the ball before each pass. The instructor on the right is giving feedback, as well as that there is also a white line which the ball is being passed along for extra guidance. Physical constraints are useful and essential in this setting. Learning a new skill is difficult and comes with many restraints. The level of anxiety and arousal and the impatience of learning a new skill can be difficult for an adolescent beginner. Physical constraints reduce fear, help get the idea safely across. When doing instructions and demonstrations, theory and practice link through reflective practice. This is a combination of thinking back on the training session or the specific practice movement. In this case, it's a soccer pass. Task complexity is the number of components and attentional demands of the task. Low complexity is whole practice and high complexity is part practice. When learning to pass a soccer ball, there are certain requirements and steps to learn before progressing. In this video, we have 4 steps in part practice, which leads up to the end result of whole practice. Low organization is part practice and high organization is whole practice. When learning to pass a soccer ball efficiently, it's essential for a learner to train in a high complexity, low organization training session, although this may vary from learner to learner. The capabilities of the adolescent novice learner impact his rate of learning and act as a constraint. These constraints involve few movement experiences, the learner being overwhelmed or frustrated, and cognitive or attentional aspects exceeding their capacity. The learner in this video uses segmentation, fractionization, and simplification to learn more efficiently, guided by the coach. Segmentation is a part training method that separates the skill into its component parts. Fractionization is asymmetric actions, practicing kicking with both feet, left and right, but practiced separately. And simplification involves reducing the difficulty of specific parts of the skill. Strategies include modifying equipment, reducing coordination requirements of the skill, such as changing the complexity of the environment and sequencing from simple to complex skill variations. Attentional cueing is also important when practicing any skill. This is when a learner focuses their attention on the critical aspects of the skill during practice of the whole skill. This is demonstrated in the video by splitting up different parts of the skill and focusing on the small aspects of the pass progressively. Variable practice involves a variety of contexts and movement characteristics. For any skill, there can be a variation in both the movement and or the context of the environment. This is demonstrated in Gentile's taxonomy. Constant practice is training with the same conditions each attempt during practice, whereas variable practice is a variety of contexts and movement characteristics which keeps the learner more engaged and learning new things. Demonstrated in this video is constant practice each week with part practice skills, as there is a new skill every week. Constant practice has a greater influence upon temporary performance, and variable practice may result in greater retention. This is due to the effect of learning from mistakes. The initial stages of constant practice allow the learner to practice the same skill repeatedly. Variable practice should be implemented after constant practice for a learner. There is low contextual interference in the videos, otherwise known as Block CI. As it is a closed environment with a new learner and instructor, there is also constant practice of the same skill within the week. The limits of the contextual interference effect mean that the results don't always generalize to highly complex skills. Progression from low to high CI is appropriate for the learner in this video, as he is an adolescent novice who needs to learn the basics before playing a real game of soccer in a high CI environment, as he would not benefit from a random practice schedule. Knowledge of results is defined as the information about an outcome or goal achievement. When learning a new skill, several behavioral changes occur within the learner as they progress through stages of learning. These are movement pattern coordination, attention and visual selection, memory, sensory feedback, and self-efficacy. These all impact the learner's results and impacts their progress through all skills. Characteristics of the learner is an important role in learning a new skill. These all depend on instructional environmental preferences, emotional preferences, sociological preferences, physiological preferences, and psychological preferences. It's also important to consider their learning style, if they are analytic, visual, or auditory. When passing the soccer ball along a white line to the instructor does not need to give feedback, as the results are used as feedback. If the ball does not stay on the line or does not go to the instructor, the learner's feedback is known through his results. Mental practice is the cognitive rehearsal of motor skill in the absence of overt physical movements. Type of mental practice are cognitive. When kicking the soccer ball to a partner, I need to focus on leading with the inside of my foot, is an example of that. First person / internal is internal visual memory. External is third-party perspective from a coach. And kinesthetic is feeling the movement of the skill, doing it without thinking. Mental practice is known to improve the learning of motor skills and aid in the performance of a well-learned skill. The roles of mental practice are to improve performance or improve on a new skill. These are improved by using imagery, rehabilitation, and preparation. Rehabilitation is relearning and regaining strength after injury. Results from many settings consistently show benefits, and preparation is to learn new skills. Mental practice techniques were included in Singer's 5-step learning strategy: ready, imagine, focus, execute, and evaluate. Research shows that a combination of imagined mental practice and actual practice is optimal for learning a new skill and improving the performance of a skill at any level, as mental practice can provide information related to solving any motor problems.